Today is something a little different for our channel. We have our friend Wendy Bruens, and today we've come to Martin Head. She's provided us today's entertainment with a story, short story. It's called Shag Harbor. Shag Harbor. You're joking, right? Grunted the tourist to the driver. Oh yeah, we got a dildo right down the road. They both laughed, and the cabbie handed his passenger a brown bagged bottle. His passenger was a fancy Hollywood director checking out the local flora and fauna. He got in Bob's cab in Halifax, half in the bag, demanding to be taken immediately to the Shag Harbor. He had told Bob his name, but Bob was pretty pickled himself. Bob's passenger pipes up. Can we go to Dildo after this? I must get a picture of the sign. Bob blinked, as he'd already forgotten his little white lie about Dildo. Dildo, well, Dildo. That's on Newfoundland, he said, and in a drunk speech. He shook his head. We'd have to take a ferry. His passenger was getting out of the car. Come on, Bob, tell me more about this Shag Harbor UFO incident. Even the Irishman, ever the Irishman. Bob, who had never been to Shag Harbor in his life, figured he could take this Hollywood hobo down to the shore and bullshit his way through. The director was already at the shore, weaving and slipping on the seaweed. Lord above, thought Bob. Mister, he called. Mister, you better get back off of there. Bob knew that he was beyond rescuing somebody. He couldn't even get out of his car. He reached over, rolled down the passenger window and yelled, Get back in here, mister, it's too dark. He held up the bottle and wiggled it enticingly as he'd hoped. Come on, he burped. Come on. We'll have to get another drink and I'll tell you all about it. The director didn't reply right away. He brushed aside some slippery kelp and sat down. Nah, you bring the bottle here and tell me. Bob looked at his 63-year-old face in the rearview mirror. He was tired, more than half hammered, and shouldn't be driving, but this dude just threw $1,000 at him in Halifax and said Shag Harbor. That money was a godsend right now. He couldn't work as much as he needed to. He only slept 5 or 6 hours a night. During the day, he watched his wife wither away a little more each day. In the evening, she stayed in hospice, and he drove a cab for a large cab service in Halifax. He was drinking way too much, but he could not afford to piss this guy off. He wished he could remember what he said his name was. He staggered onto the rocks like the tourist he was. He slipped badly, but making sure he saved the bottle, he steadied himself as well. The director looked up at him, still wearing the black reflective sunglasses he'd had on the entire time. Bob wondered how he could see anything on this moonless night. The director tugged Bob's pant leg. Give me that bottle. Sit down, Bob. Bob sort of half sat and half stumbled to where he was lying down. His new buddy giggled. They let you drive like this? He was smiling and he helped Bob sit up. Should I cut you off? Asked his new chum. Bob shook his head. No. The director handed him back the bottle. Okay, it's your license, pal. Tell me about this place. Bob took a big swig to moisten his mouth, and then he told the director very dramatically the stories that his dad, a Navy man, who happened to specialize in underwater salvage, and had told him. Yes, October 67, something crashed in that harbor. He swore to the director due to the non-disclosure agreement that his dad could not say what he saw, but he was happy to say what was commonly known. Yes, a real UFO. Lots of people saw it, besides my dad, and it was 1967. The thing was surrounded in thick yellow foam. Blah, 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 said the director. I know all that, but what did your dad see? Come on, you can tell me. He handed the bottle back to Bob, who quickly retorted, No, my dad would never say anything. He respected the Navy. But Bob also remembered screams in the night. Screams from his father backed into the corner by fears only he could see. He could hear his mother saying, "It's okay, Jack, it's okay." On this really drunk night, he, at his addled brain, decided to let him remember memories he wasn't prepared to. Like the night his father got so drunk, ended up in the corner again, but this time he was screaming, "Don't go in the green light, don't go in the green light." The time the police came and Dad went away for a while, to the nut house. "Well, what happened to him? Your parents?" the director asked as he turned his head to look down the shore. Bob just shrugged his shoulders. Dad drank himself to death and Mom stayed angry with the Navy till the day she died. The director turned his head back and Bob did a triple take. He had lizard eyes. Bob dropped the bottle. The next day they found the cab still running with an empty bottle on some slippery kelp. It was assumed that Bob the cabbie had drowned, and the sea rarely gives up her dead. As Bob died in the underground bunker 21 kilometers away, his last thought was, "How did I get here?" And then he screamed when he saw the monsters coming, carrying green lights. Thank you, Wendy. That was a pretty dang good story. That's all for today, folks. Enjoy. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me right now?